everyone, Kelly here, and today I wanted to talk about the book series that I am really excited to start soon. So this year I was really trying to focus on finishing some series, and I'm still doing that. I'm still trying to finish ones that I've already started and that I own and I want to get through, but there are just book series that I own that are just staring at me, and I'm just really excited about every single one of these. So even though I want to commit to that goal of finishing some series, I definitely think I'm going to start some of these soon because I'm just so excited, and might as well go with what I'm excited about in the moment and what I have momentum on. And so all of these are ones that I own, at least the first book in the series. Some of them I own the entire series. I try not to do that, but I got a couple of these in box sets or things like that. And so there's a lot of ones to talk about. I have 10 series and then about 4 duologies I want to talk about. So I'm not going to give full summaries of each one of these. A lot of these are very popular, so I'll just talk about them really quick and kind of why I'm excited about them. So let's get started. These are not in any order of things I'm excited for. I'm gonna start the series and then go to the duologies. So first up, I have the Enchanted Forest Chronicles by Patricia C. Reed, and I have the entire box set of this, and I think it's a 4-book series, and I just got these recently because I want to read them, and then if they're good for my kids, pass them on. They might be a few years out before they can read these, so I have some time to finish the series before I pass it on to them. But what I've heard about this is a dragon and princess book, but the princess is more tough and stuff like that. It doesn't fall into a lot of the stereotypes of princess stories, and I like dragon stories with princesses, so I'm excited to start this one. Next, I have the Wayward Pines series by Blake Crouch. The first one is Pines. I only own this first book in the series because I wanted to see if I would like it, but from what I've been hearing lately, I've had a few friends that have started the series lately, and they've said that once you get to the end of this book, you want to start the next one immediately. So, if that is the case, I'll probably just then buy the next 2, but I really wanted to try it first because I've heard hit or miss things about Blake Crouch's older books, but this one was made into a television show, so I think it's pretty popular, and it's a sci-fi mystery crime book, I think, all combined together. And I have the only book I've read by Blake Crouch is Dark Matter, and I did enjoy that one, so I am very interested in starting this one to find out if it's a trilogy that I actually want to commit and buy all the books. Next, I have the Inspector Gamache series, I believe that's how you say his name, by Louise Penny. The first one is Still Life. This is the only one I own because I wanted to try it first, and this is a long series, so I've been putting it off because I think this is on the 16th book and it's an ongoing series. And usually I don't start series that are that long. I'm usually one that's if it's any more than 5 books, I just don't even want to start it because it's just a big commitment for me. But I just hear so many good things about this series. So many people love it that I wanted to at least give it a try. And I got this one at a secondhand shop. So I'm definitely going to try this one, though I've heard that there are some people that think that the series doesn't really take off till the 4th book. So let's see if I'm still on the fence after this one, maybe I'll give another one a try, but I definitely want to at least give the first book in the series a try. And one of the things I've heard about this one that everybody loves is that in addition to it being solving murder mysteries, that there's a lot of small town vibes and a lot of characters that you just grow to love. So I am really interested in giving this series a try. Next, I have the Nevermoor series by Jessica Townsend. The first one is The Trials of Morgan Crow, and I had waited to get this book, the first book in this series, until 3 of the books were out, because sometimes I don't like to start a series when it's just beginning. I like to see kind of how people are liking it, and this does get a lot of buzz. All 3 books are still getting a buzz around BookTube and on book podcasts and things like that. So I think it's a really beloved series. So now that a few books are out, I would like to give it a try. I'm really hoping that it'll be a magical, fun series because that's something that I want to invest my time in. And I've just heard really great things about this series so far. So I'm very interested to try out a new middle grade fantasy magical series. Next, I have the Vande Beaker series by Karina Young Glaser, and I've heard just so many amazing things about this middle grade contemporary series. Everyone seems to love it. It's a family that you're following that lives in New York City, and I've just heard a lot that's heartwarming and a lovely family, and I'm not even sure really what happens to the family or anything like that in any of these books, but I've just heard everybody that I know that has read it has loved it. So I definitely am looking forward to starting this series. Next, I have the Pages & Co. series by Anna James. And this first one, The Book Wanderers. It's also called Tilly and the Book Wanderers, I believe, in the UK. And I just happened to get the American version of the title. And I've just heard so much fun stuff about this, that this is a middle grade series that is about this girl who can, I don't know if she can go into books or that if characters from books could come out of them, like people like Anne from Anne of Green Gables or Alice from Alice in Wonderland. So that just sounds so fantastical and fun. And I don't really know anything else about it because I tried not to look into it very much after I heard that like synopsis. So I'm definitely like excited about that because I have now read all of, because I waited to pick this up until I had read the books that kind of like this revolves around. And now that I've read a lot of those classic children's books, I really want to see what they do with those characters. Next, I have the Emily series by L.M. Montgomery, and I had read all of Anne of Green Gables last year, and so I wanted to read some more by L.M. Montgomery because I haven't read the Emily series, and she has a couple other series, and I picked this one up because I love the covers. I got the entire trilogy with these covers. They're beautiful, and I don't really know much about this series at all, but I'm assuming that it'll be charming like Anne of Green Gables. I'm hoping so, so we shall see when I get around to it. Next, I have the Empire of Talents series. Book 1 is called The Spy in the Silver Palace by Jordan Rivet. She is a indie author, so she might not be as well known on BookTube. Honey, can you back away?
I want to watch you.
Okay, Jordan Rivet is a independent author, so she's not as well known in the BookTube community, but I have read one of her earlier series and really enjoyed it, so I'm excited to pick this one up and try it. And this first one was given to me by my friend Kara from the Wild Book Garden, and so that definitely makes me want to read it even more since it was a gift. But I don't even really know much about the series. I just know I liked her other series, which now I can't remember what that series is called. The first one was Duel of Fire, but it was a lot of fun, so I am looking forward to this one, even though I don't even know what exactly it's about, but they're fantasy books, and I just think she's a very inventive author, so I am looking forward to that one. Next, I have the only nonfiction series in this whole group, and that is James Herriot's autobiography or memoirs, and this one I got the UK version. So like in the United States, a lot of people know this as, I think it's called All Creatures Great and Small and All Things Bright and Beautiful. So there's different titles, but I got the ones that they're smaller. So basically in the UK version, there's 8 books, and in the American version, you take each of the 2 books and put them in a bigger collections. There's only 4 books in the United States, if that makes sense. And so this one I'm just so excited about because I read a lot of James Herriot's picture books when I was a kid. I still have the picture books that I read with my kids. He was a veterinarian in, I think, the early 1900s, and I just think that his picture books are beautiful, so I'm excited to hear more about his time as a vet. And the last of the longer series I want to talk about is the Wingfeather Saga by Andrew Peterson. This first one is called On the Edge of the Dark Sea of Darkness. And first of all, can I just say this like naked hardback is beautiful, which is why I got these, because I normally get paperbacks, but I just thought these are such beautiful additions. And this was going around everywhere during middle grade March this year, and everybody was saying how much they loved it. I really don't know anything about it other than everybody just says it's like a super fun middle grade series. So I'm into it because everybody was raving about it, so I at least got the first one to see if it fits the hype. Those were all of the longer series, but then I have a few duologies I want to mention really quick. This first one, I'm not for sure if it's a duology because I just saw that there's a 3rd book possibly coming out in 2022, but this is A Kata Witch by Nnedi Okorafor, and I own both A Kata Witch and A Kata Warrior. I thought it was a duology, and I don't really know if the 3rd book is going to be a prequel or a full novel in the series, so it still could be a duology. But this one has often been called the Nigerian Harry Potter. So it's a fantasy book that takes place in Nigeria, and I love Nnedi Okorafor's writing, so I definitely want to be reading this one soon because everything I've read by her has just been amazing so far, so I can't imagine this would be any different. Next, I have Peter Nimble and His Fantastic Eyes by Jonathan Auxier. I've read 2 of Jonathan Auxier's books so far and gave both 5 stars. Sweep, The Story of a Girl and Her Monster, and The Night Gardener. Love them both, and so I wanted to try this duology. I don't think that they are like a full-on duology as in like one follows directly after the other one. I think they're actually companion novels, but I still am really excited to read this one. I don't really know anything about it because I don't care. I love the other two so much. It's going to be a fantasy book. And I have heard good things about this lately. I've heard a couple people talk about it actually in just the last month. And so it might be one of those things once you know, have something on your radar, suddenly everybody's talking about it, even though this is an older book. But yeah, I've heard great things about it from lately in the last month. So that makes me even more excited. And then another duology I have is The Wild Robot by Peter Brown. I'm not sure if this is going to get more books of the series, but at this point there's only 2 books out. And this is just about a robot that is like stuck on a deserted island, which just sounds like fun. I've also heard this is a great read aloud, so I'm gonna try it first myself, and then it might be one that I read with my kids. Yeah, it has pretty like big writing and some big pictures, so I think this one I'll just zoom through myself and then see if I wanna share it with my kids, speaking of the one that's like decided to be in the video now.
Sorry.
And then the last duology I wanna talk about is The War That Saved My Life by Kimberly Brubaker Bradley. And this one, all I've heard is good things about this book. It takes place in World War I believe, or maybe it's World War II. I'm not actually sure. But I just, every time I hear somebody talk about it, they just rave about how amazing this book is and its sequel. People are saying that the sequel is just as good as the first book. So yes, I will eventually get around to this. The only reason I haven't picked it up, I've owned this for so long, is it's historical fiction, and that's not usually something I go for right away. But you know, there's a point where you just hear everybody talk great about something that you gotta pick it up because everybody's talking about it. So those are the series, the duologies that I own and I just really want to read. So I probably will break away from my goal a little bit of finishing all my open series before starting new ones. I'm just gonna have to go back and forth, you know, finish a series I have going and start a new series because I just have so much like excitement for these books, you know. I should just read what I love instead of making myself stick to a like goal if that's not what is making me happy. If any of these series are ones that you absolutely love and you think I should definitely like pick up very soon, let me know down below, or let me know what series you've picked up lately that you like absolutely love and you think maybe I should check out. I love to hear from you, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.